Hello, everyone. This is Daniel Hall, and welcome to this webinar presentation. I'm so pleased, so happy that you have decided to spend your valuable time, invest your valuable time, and learn exactly how John actually drove 122,547 targeted visitors to one of his websites, okay? And how you could do the same with your Kindle books or to any website or offer that you have. Now get this, using using Pinterest and using it for free. Okay, so that's the name of our presentation today, and that's really what we're going to be covering. And John and I have been working on this presentation pretty hot and heavy for the last week or so, so we're pretty excited to show it to you, okay? So with that said, let me just kind of jump in here and let you know that tonight's presentation does in fact have a sponsor, and that sponsor is Real Fast Pinterest, okay? And that is the training program that John and I put together where we show you how to harness the viral marketing power of Pinterest to drive more traffic to your Kindle listings and any other offers that you might have, okay, for free, all right? Now, I want to start, as I do with just about all of my webinars, with our promise so that you and I we're in alignment with what the expectation is. And here is the promise. In this webinar, we're going to show you step-by-step the elements of simple infographics that are easy and fast to make and that can drive massive traffic to your Kindle books or other offers for free. In fact, what we teach today is so easy to implement that you could start it within the next 15 minutes after this webinar is over and start seeing more traffic to your offers and Kindle books within the next 24 hours, okay? So that is my promise to you, and I just want you to answer this. Is that something that you would like to do? Is that why you are here? Do we have the right audience? If so, go to your questions box right now and type in, heck yes, that's why I'm here, and that's my expectation, all right? And I could see all of the, oh, holy cow, cool, all right.
Some people don't want to swear, they're just saying yes.
Well, exactly. All right, cool. All right, so it looks like we've got the right audience, John, so that's always good to see. And so here's what I just want to really get this straight before we go any further. And I want to start off by prefacing this by saying that I really mean what I'm about to say here. Because at the end of tonight's webinar, we're going to be extending a very special offer to you. However, I don't want you to invest in it. Okay? Let me say that again. I don't want you to invest in it unless we make good on our promise to show you how to harness Pinterest for more traffic to your Kindle books or offers tonight. However, if we do show you how to use Pinterest to get more traffic to your books and other offers tonight, then you should feel obligated to take advantage of our special time-limited offer at the end of this call if it's right for you. So my question for you is, does that sound fair? Go down to your questions box and type in yes, if it does. Cool. And I can see the responses coming in, flowing in here steadily. Excellent. So I wanted to start out here with a little background on who we are. And I wanted to, for those of you that don't know who John Kramer is, I want to give you a little bit of a primer, a little background on who John is. John is really a book marketing expert extraordinaire. Essentially, he has been in the business for a very long time. He is the author of 1,001 Ways to Market Your Books, and I affectionately call him the grandpappy of book marketing. And by the way, lots of other folks have recognized John and his marketing prowess, including folks like Mark Victor Hansen and Jack Canfield from Chicken Soup of the Soul, who wrote, if you want to sell 210 million books like we have, read and use John's book. And Stephen Covey actually wrote this as well. He says, John Kramer was instrumental to our success in making The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People one of the 2 most influential business books of the 20th century. And the reason I tell you this is, well, many of you don't know that John has this sort of pedigree and this knowledge base, and that's who's going to be teaching you tonight. So that's really, really cool. And for those of you that don't know who I am, just real briefly, my name is Daniel Hall. I am a best-selling author, speaker, publisher, nurse, yes, and attorney, yes, and sometimes blogger, and I'm the creator of the highly popular Real Fast brand of training products. So now that you know who you're dealing with here tonight and what you're about to learn, I'm going to pass the virtual microphone over here to my good friend John Kramer. John, hang on. Let me go ahead and pass that over to you. Do you have your screen ready to go there, sir?
I do.
Okay. Excellent. So let me go ahead and make John the presenter.
Hopefully it's the right screen.
Hopefully. So there you go.
Okay. You know, when Dan and I were talking about it yesterday, and we were talking about what we were going to do during this presentation and so on, this question came up in my Facebook stream, and he said, okay, who has some Pinterest training? I can't figure out this site. And you know, it's surprising how often I see that when a new social media platform comes out and people are yelling, help, help, how do I use it? Why do I use it? And so part of what we're doing tonight is telling you why and how. So I just wanted to show you that. I get those messages all the time. So what is Pinterest and why should we care? Pinterest is one of the fastest growing social sharing networks out there, and it's incredibly viral. It just, everything goes viral on it because of the nature of how it works. You know, you go on Twitter and something gets shown and it's gone right away, and nobody can see it again, or unless they go and visit your actual profile. You go on Facebook, and Facebook doesn't even show what you have to more than 10% of your audience nowadays. But with Pinterest, it's shown to everybody, and everybody has a chance to review the people they're following and look at the pins and really have a chance to share them in a much more viral way because of the nature of how Pinterest is designed and how it's used. And I just wanted to show you something here on a few of the key statistics on Pinterest users. They hit 10 million unique U.S. visitors per month, faster than any other site in history. 80% of pins are repins of other users, and that's the key part of the viral nature of Pinterest, is that most of the pins are repins. And the average user spends 16 minutes on Pinterest per visit. That's really incredible. And 80% of Pinterest users are women. That number has probably changed since this infographic was created. I think it's more like 60-40 now, but active users, the people that actually share and the people that actually pin, are still 80% women. Absolutely. I mean, when I look at my share statistics, it's all women. It's very few men. Us men, we don't share as much as we should. So, and food-related content is the #1 category of interest to Pinterest, with 50% engagement, but there are a lot of other categories where we'll be talking about to let you know more about it. Pinterest is retaining users to 2 to 3 times more effectively than Twitter. That means that they actually stay on Pinterest and use it and love it. And that's really a key thing. That people that are on Pinterest really love it. And the most popular categories are those of interest to women. That's unquestionably the case. For men, one of the key interest areas is automobiles and home repair. But for women, it's fashion, design, home decor, recipes, crafts, hobbies, or what I call the 6 Fs: food, fashion, fitness, family, funny, and what I call phytofelines, in other words, funny, cute animals. And they love inspirational quotes and any kind of quotes that are created and shared graphically. And a lot of what we're going to be teaching you, at least tonight, is how to share tips from your books or any other, your website or anything like that, and quotes from yourself or from your favorite authors or your favorite quotes that you like. The shape of a viral Pinterest graphic tends to be long and thin, and this is a real key part of what we call the hack of Pinterest, and that is that long and thin gets more visibility on Pinterest, and it also gets, I think, more shares. The longer and thinner it is, the more likely that people are going to see it and share it. So that's one of the key takeaways from tonight is long and thin gets shared a lot more. And part of that is going to be, I'm going to show you now, I'm going to take you through the step-by-step that I did in creating the viral bookographic that has had over 1.4 million shares in just the last 18 months. And what I did is I piggybacked on a viral phenomenon that was already out there, the Skinny Rules by Bob Harper from The Biggest Losers. And one of the days when I was on Pinterest back in November of 2012, I saw this post come up, The Skinny Rules by Bob Harper. And I looked at it and I go, boy, this is kind of plain and ugly. I can do something a little bit better with it. So, of course, I put a pink border around it. It's not that much prettier. In fact, it's kind of ugly. But this particular pin that I pinned in November started to get like 1,000 repins a day. And people were coming to my website in droves just from this ugly one. And so about a month later, I said, well, gosh, I can do something better. And so I created this infographic. Now, the first two on the left here are about the actual size of the pins. This one with Bob Harper is much taller and thinner. This is about a 50% of the original size. But you can see it's much more colorful. It plays off of the color cover of the book cover, his book cover. So because the book cover is blue and yellow, I made the infographic itself, the bookographic, yellow and blue. And as you can see, I shared the same 20 points, but I have a much prettier presentation than the other two. Now, the one on the left, the original one, the Skinny Rules, has had about 1 million repins. I just checked to see how many it got, and I noticed it had around 954,000 repins. And that's in about 2 or 3 years, whereas mine has already had 1.4 million in 18 months. And the Skinny Rules has had, the pink one has had about 200,000 repins in the last 20 months. This is how it looks in real life size. Again, at least on the left, that's the actual size. It's 600 wide. And you can see it's very dramatic, very readable. But again, on Pinterest, it's going to look like this, long and skinny, and about that size on Pinterest, because Pinterest makes a large graphic smaller. But it's still very visible, still readable within Pinterest. But yet, it's amazing how many people click through to see the actual graphic on Pinterest and then click through to my website. So, it's really neat. And so, again, this is how it looks in life size. And what I wanted to do then is tell a little bit, and again, this is the characteristics, very simple. As you can see, it's not that complicated what I created. You can do this in Microsoft Word. You don't need any graphic skill to do it. It's easy in Microsoft Word to create something like this and use a snipping program or a screen capture program to capture the graphic in Microsoft Word and then share that as a graphic. It's real simple. This was just simply, a headline, typing, and then the cover, and then again the actual complete title at the bottom. Very simple thing to create. It's not complicated at all. If it were complicated, I couldn't do it because I'm not a graphic designer. It may look like I am, and I may play one on Pinterest, but I'm not. So the characteristics of a bookographic, and this is one of the key things that is great for content sharing, is sharing anywhere from 5 to 20 tips that you like. From basically from your book if you're a book author, but if you're not a book author but you're a content creator in some way, or you have a website that's selling gizmos or something like that, you probably have 10 tips on how to use the gizmo or whatever. So you take that content, you create anywhere from, again, 5 to 20 tips, condensed content from your book. You use the colors found on the cover. If you have a product shot, you would use the colors of that product. A picture of the cover or the picture of the product, a link to the Amazon listing, preferably through your affiliate link. In fact, I don't know any other way to do it. I would always do it through my affiliate link. And those are the key characteristics of a bookographic. And again, going back to the skinny rules, that's what I created. Very simple, 20 rules that he shared in his book. The cover of the book, graphic, tall and thin, simple to use. And again, then it's linked to the Amazon page. In this case, it's linked to my Infographic a Day website, and then that links to Amazon directly. If they click on the graphic there, or they click on the sell, I'd say here, if you want to buy the book, go to Amazon, click here, and people will buy the book. So you can choose to send it to a website and then to Amazon, or you can send it directly to Amazon. Pinterest doesn't care, and it's your strategy how you want to use that. So here's the actual proof. You can see 1.4 million pins, 1.416972 have pinned this. That's information from Pinterest. It's not made up information. That's actually, if you go there, you'll see that that's the number that they're giving. Now, up here in the top here is my information on Bob Harper, The Skinny Rules, 123,512 views. That's how many people have viewed it on my website in the last 18 months. And that averages out to about 7,000 people a month. And I'm still getting that many new visitors from this one graphic every month. So it hasn't quieted down. 18 months later, it's still doing it. You go viral with a video on YouTube, and generally speaking, bing, it's done, and then 2 weeks later, it's gone, and visitors trickle in. But here, it's consistently over and over again, the same number of people coming 18 months later. And I mean, that's incredible. I mean, the viral power of Pinterest is incredible because of the way that it works. So here are some other examples of things that I shared on my website and then pinned. Coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. Albert Einstein, I shared that on one of my websites. It's had over 30,000 repins. My pin of it has had that many. Here's another one. Take time to do what makes your soul happy. And again, that was a pin that I repinned, but how I repinned it again is I shared it on my blog first, and then I pinned it from my blog. 212,000 repins of that one image. And I didn't even create it, but I could have. It's easy to do. This image would be easy to create in Microsoft Word. Here's another one I created called The Fence. It's a story that I saw on Facebook. I decided to make it pretty, so I typed it up. I put in a fence board, with, and it's a story, and it's had 20,000 repins. Now, it's only had from my original pin, maybe, I don't know, I think about 1,000 pins. I forgot to check on that. But it's had 20,000 repins in the community of Pinterest, and that's only about 3 or 4 months old. The same is true with this one that's had 212,000 repins. I originally pinned that, I think, only about 3 or 4 months ago. Now, here are some bookographics that I created, or bookographic lookalikes. These are ones that, the one on the left, 101 Ways to Say Great, I did not create that one. That one I just repinned from blog.writeathome.com. But my pin of that has had 107,000 repins, and 1,434, it's generated over 1,400 visits to my website. And I didn't even create it. I simply put it on my website and pinned it from there onto Pinterest. The 18 Things Mentally Strong People Do is something I created from 2 blog posts on Forbes. And then I created this graphic. I put the woman's who wrote the original articles on the image, and then shared this. This is I created about 6 months ago. It's already had 92,000 repins and generated 22,392 visits to my website. 15 things to give up if you want to be happy, 281,000 repins, 30,319 visits to my website have been generated from that one graphic. And again, look how simple that is. I mean, that's even more simple. It's just words, basically, with great quotes. And then here's an interesting one, 16 unusual uses for cucumbers. Amazingly, and I created that from a number of articles I had seen on cucumber uses. And so then I pinned it, and 96,000 repins of that. Again, very simple to create. It's just a cucumber image that I found free on Google Images. I made sure it was a copyright-free image. And then I put in the 16 tips. It's generated 6,218 visits to my website. I mean, it's incredible. These simple things, these all took like about 5 or 10 minutes to create. It wasn't complicated. Here's another one. It's a little bit more complicated that could be created in Microsoft Word. 30 flat tummy tips. And again, this one was generated from an original post that I had repinned from somebody else, and it was driving a lot of traffic. So I decided to make it a little bit prettier. And this is what I came up with, some pictures of pretty ladies and the tips. 95,000 repins, 7,900 visits. Again, very simple thing to do. A little bit more complicated. You have to know how to put images to the left of the words or to the right of the words, but that was about it. Not complicated. Here are some of the topics that have led to more website visits from Pinterest pins: diet, health, crafts, fitness, cats and dogs, jobs, success, yoga, food, and people love Dr. Seuss. Another one that seems to drive a lot of traffic is quotes from Disney humor, but that I get a lot of reprints of that one, but not as many visits to my website. But you can see these are numbers that I took from a couple of days ago. Total views of different pages, and almost all of that traffic, 95% of that traffic has come from Pinterest for all of these. Come on, Dan, you're supposed to say that's incredible. Here's one that I did just 2 days ago. 10 hours after I put it up, you can see it on the right, the full image. When you forgive, you don't change the past, you change the future. That was a quote I saw. Then I added to it, but when you pray, you change the past and the present and the future. Pray more. And so that was a graphic I created. I used the praying hands image. It's an artistic image from 1880 or something like that. And then I added my words to it. And as you can see, in this case, I actually added a link to my website as well, so that as it gets passed on, my website will still be attached to it. Within 10 hours, I had gotten 15 pins and 1 heart, and 266 other people pinned it from the pins that they got from the 15 people that pinned for me. Other people repinned it, and that was just in 10 hours. Typically, in a day's length of time, I will get, my graphics will get anywhere from 50 to 100 pins, and then the number of repins from other people is even more than that. I'm going to give you, let's see. I was going to show you this one first, and then I'll go back. This is one that Brian Tracy did yesterday. And most people know Brian Tracy. He's a famous author and all that. Within 2 hours, he had gotten 14 repins, and 161 other people had pinned it. That's how quickly the viral thing starts to happen. You don't see that anywhere else. I mean, it's just amazing. And, you know, Brian has quite a few followers, 11,400. That's about 7,000 less than me. But it's still a neat effect that you can see how quickly it can happen. And I just wanted to show you that Brian has 11,476 followers. I follow him. I'm one of them. And I love seeing his stuff. I've always loved what he does. Now what I want to do is go back here and just show you how I created a meme that needed some grammar and spelling changes and more. So the original image that I saw on Facebook was this purple one. Mary's father has $5. Nana, Nina, Nino, no. What is the name of the fifth daughter? Of course, the answer is Mary. It's not Nunu. But most people would go Nunu just because of the way they're led to it. But the problem with this graphic is that if you can answer this, you're a genius. They misspelled your. And I said, okay, I'll change it. So I quickly typed it into Microsoft Word, and this image on the right, that is a screen capture from Microsoft Word. You can see how quickly I typed it in and created it and corrected the grammar, put a punctuation mark at the end of the sentence, put a comma where it belonged, capitalized the sentence there. Those are all, to me as a grammar, writer, I just get offended when I see something that's that badly designed as the one here on the left. So I designed this. I changed the colors. I made it, I hope, more interesting. And then I just, cut and pasted and I shared it. And now it's my unique content. This one over here on the left is not my unique content. This one on the right is. This is a generic thing. I've seen it multiple times, the same graphic in different colors and so on. But I decided I would create my own. That's one of the things that's so powerful about doing it yourself, is you can create graphics that can really do it. Now, I just wanted to show you that Pinterest really does drive the traffic to my website in a major way. If you look down here in the bottom left, you'll see that 274 of the people came from Pinterest. 65 came from the search engines, so that's starting to grow. At one point, the search engines were non-existent, but now they're starting to see my website. And then Facebook, 9. You can see how much more virally and impactful that Pinterest is in terms of driving traffic. And I just wanted to show you here that the top graphic just shows you that the average number of visitors to my website on a weekly basis is 4,000 people. This week, because it's only half the week, it's not, it's only close to 2,000. But on average, you can see 4,000 on 1 week, 8,000, and there were at least 1 or 2 months where there were, 30,000 people. Well, I guess this month there must have been close to 30,000 people that came to my website, driven by the, primarily by Pinterest. So I wanted you to see that. This is taken from my WordPress analytics. Here are a couple Bookle graphics that I've created over time. One was from Scott Grossberg. That was actually about the actual size. The rest of these are smaller. One for Valerie Bertinelli's 10 Food Rules, One Dish at a Time. So that's her book cover. She was promoting it. The 10 tips were excerpted from Prevention magazine. Then I created this. Obviously, I'm piggybacking, again, in this case, off of Valerie's promotion of One Dish at a Time, which was going very big at the time. And I created this graphic, and I pinned it, and boom, I got a lot of traffic from it. I didn't check the numbers yet on that, though. Maya Angelou, what I've learned, this was excerpted, I believe, from an article that she did, or it may have just been something that somebody shared on Facebook. And then I added one of her books, the complete collected poems of Maya Angelou. Now this I created, about a year ago, but when Maya Angelou died about, 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was an incredible amount of traffic generated from that graphic. My graphic was more popular than anybody else's graphics with Maya Angelou on Pinterest during that time when people were celebrating her life. Here's a graphic that I created for one of my clients, Marla Heller, the DASH Diet Weight Loss Solution. And the neat thing about that is that she shares it prominently on her website, and again, I share it prominently on my website, and it drives, again, a lot of traffic to my website. The neat thing was that her book, The DASH Diet Weight Loss Solution, went to #1 on Amazon, of all of Amazon, not just some sub category, but all of Amazon, after she appeared on the Dr. Oz show. I can't take credit for it. I wish I could. That one of these would drive book to #1 in Amazon would be incredible. Here's another one I shared that you may not be able to read it. It's Dr. Mehmet Oz, 25 Best Health Tips that he shared on men's health. And then again, I put one of his book covers on it. And these all have driven a lot of traffic to my website. Again, I'm piggybacking on other people's content, in some cases with their permission, sometimes not, but still sharing things. I reword things so that I'm not in violation of copyright. Making graphics in Microsoft Word is really simple. The first thing you do is you set up your page so that you have the right width and height that you want, like in this case 3 inches by 8 inches. That's a nice height. It'll translate well into Pinterest. You select a nice background, and the neat thing with Microsoft Word is you can do variegated backgrounds. You can do texture, you can do pattern, you can put a picture in the background. So there's lots of options, and it's real simple, again, to do that. It's not a complicated process. And then you just type in your words and you add an image. Add text and add an image as we did here, and boom, you're done. And the graphic, and then all you do is you use a screen capture program like Jing, or I use Snip URL. Very simple. You just surround the image that you want to capture, and you save it to your website, and then you can share that image everywhere you want to go. So, Daniel.
Yeah, so that excellent. So a couple things I want to cover with you here before I take over. John, so let's talk about the process, because I'm sort of going through a lot of the questions that have come through here, and I want to just kind of cover a couple of them. And the process to actually make this work for people is, #1, you create the graphic, or you get a graphic and you repin it, but you actually can put it on your own site if you have it, or your own blog if you have it, and then pin directly from your own blog, okay?
And the neat thing is there, Daniel, that when you pin from your own blog, the link to your blog goes with the image. That's automatic with Pinterest.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other thing is that if you are, and this kind of gets to a lot of the copyright questions that we've been getting, and if you are doing, if you are taking your images or your pins from other Pinterest users, there is a license that you get from Pinterest to do exactly that. It is a limited license to use essentially anything that's on Pinterest. So that's pretty awesome. And so I wanted to make sure that everyone understood what was going on with that. And by the way, with all of those things, it is incumbent upon you as the pinner to always drive traffic back to the not just to you, but to the ultimate source of the content. And if you're the ultimate source of the content, it's coming through you. In other words, the traffic goes through you before it goes somewhere else, like, for example, Forbes magazine or whatever place. But it's the traffic comes through you first. That's a really important point.
Yeah, and Daniel, when I did like the Forbes magazine one, I linked back to both of those original articles.
Exactly. So you circumvent any of the problems with copyright, and that's really one of the huge pieces of this, is the fact that when you become a Pinterest user and you're using other people's pins, you absolutely have a right to use whatever the other people have pinned, which is why it's so easy to take and modify and piggyback virally off of somebody else's content that has previously pinned something on Pinterest. And it's completely copacetic, right? It's completely cool to do that. So I just want to make sure we're all clear on that. And let's see. Can you explain the Pinterest license again? Well, it's actually in their terms of service. You have, as a Pinterest user, Wayne, you have a license to take. You can distribute any pin. You can modify it. You can create derivative works from it. I mean, I'll just refer you to the Pinterest terms of service, and that's what it provides. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And Daniel, you know, my pin of the in my creation of the bookographic for Bob Harper, the blue and yellow one, has been added to, gosh, probably hundreds of websites, and then that again has gone back into driving even more traffic. The 1.4 million is only the traffic that's been generated by my original pin of that.
Exactly. And Rad's saying, do you have to buy the license for Pinterest to reuse their pins? No, when you sign up, it's a free account. You get that. That's part of the quid pro quo. Yeah, you get that. Mm-hmm. So, and we'll come back to some more questions, and believe me, we'll cover all of your questions. We're really good about that. But from where we've gotten to so far, let me actually go ahead and take the screen back here.
Yay.
Yeah. So have we delivered on our promise to you? If so, go to your questions box and type in, heck yes, if we have. That's always nice to see, and thank you so much. They're flowing in now from Frank and Sean and Lisa and Steve and Bonnie and Deanna and Val and Chris and Felda and Rowena and Patty and Larry and Cynthia, Mary and Wayne and Melanie, excuse me, and Kim, and there's actually so many I can't
read them fast enough.
I can't read them fast enough. Let's see. Okay. Excellent. And Donald says, I think I'm missing some steps. We're going to go back through that, but I want to talk about Real Fast Pinterest here for just a moment, because the fact of the matter is, I want to be very very respectful of your time, and of course in preparing this presentation we had essentially two options. Option one was we could just come and show you some cool stuff for about an hour, and then we could simply part ways. And option two is we could extend a special offer to those of you who are interested in putting into action today what we showed them in the easiest, most effective, and simplest ways. And we chose option two, and when you see it, I think you'll be very glad that we put this together for you. And what we've done is we've put together, John and I have put together a really stout program called Real Fast Pinterest. And essentially what this is, it's a total system for Pinterest success. And the best thing about it is it's specifically designed for graphic designers, okay? If you know how to do graphics, so much the better, okay? But it's certainly not required, as you can tell by looking at some of John's, infographics there. You can tell you don't have to be, this Leonardo da Vinci kind of artist to do this and see like massive results. And that's kind of the way we yeah, go ahead.
And Daniel, that was one of the key things, is that so many people were creating these really complicated infographics that really were so hard to read and so time-consuming, whereas I started creating these very simple tip listings with a few simple graphics, and they went viral.
Exactly. Yeah, and the other key to that too is that you're able to actually read what are on the the words on the image without clicking on them. I think that's another key point. But essentially, with Real Fast Pinterest, we show you the formula for Pinterest success. A lot of you have been asking, well, how do you actually make money with this? Well, here is your answer. Essentially, it's traffic, okay? Traffic can be converted into all kinds of different monetization strategies. For the case of most of you, probably what you're going to be doing is sending your traffic that you generate directly to your Amazon book listings. But you don't have to. You could be sending them to your online offers, okay, or your free special reports or whatever, okay. So when you get traffic, that means you're getting eyeballs, and it's the people that have the money, okay. So traffic equals eyeballs equals money. That is the formula for Pinterest success. And in this training, we're going to show you exactly how to post infographics that you create and show you how to start getting traffic from them almost immediately. See, because
Daniel,
yeah, go ahead.
Can I add one thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's been studies that actually show that Pinterest users are more likely to buy from a pin than a Twitter user is going to buy from a tweet, or a Facebook user is going to buy from a post. It's very clear that Pinterest people are much more buyers than the other social networks.
Yeah, exactly. And the other really interesting thing about that as well is the fact that it makes it so much easier to actually go from the pin itself directly to the offer, wherever that offer happens to be. For many of us, that's going to be directly to Amazon, but certainly doesn't have to be that. As I said earlier, it could be to like Squeeze Page, for example, so that you get somebody's name and email address. Okay, so yeah, that's really what Pinterest is. It's a traffic play, and it's a free traffic play, and it's a traffic play that continues to give you results month in, month out, as John has proven with what he's done. So it's really that's the formula. But the fact of the matter is that it's also about posting the right images. And so within RealFast Pinterest, we show you the types of images to create, and they're super easy to do, much like what we showed you today. And we show you how to post them to maximize that exposure and maximize the likelihood that they will in fact go viral for you. Then we're going to talk about exploiting the hack in Pinterest terms of service that essentially provides you with an unlimited supply of images to use for free. Now, I talked about this just briefly in that you could actually modify, and you have a license to use and make derivative products from every pin that's on Pinterest. Okay, and of course we discuss that, we flesh that out and show you what to do with it. Also, we're going to show you the special 2-minute to make graphic. That's right, it only takes about 2 minutes to make this particular graphic, and it's a graphic that can generate traffic for 2 years. Now, it could be 3 or 4 years. I like the 2 and the 2. So I just added it there, but the main thing I want you to understand is that it is a strategy, and this is one of the things I always look to do with everything that I do in my business and in my life, for that matter, is if I could take action once and continue to benefit from that action for as long as possible, okay, without me actually having to take another action. That's why I was so attracted to this strategy when John mentioned that he was doing it. Okay. Then, and John, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, because I know how really crucial this key is. But we're in RealFast Pinterest, we show you how to repin for maximum viral spread. Because the fact of the matter is that you could repin pins and have, in some cases, as good a luck as if you've created the pin yourself and get the same benefit, and sometimes more benefit because you can get it out faster, right? Did you have anything you wanted to add on that, John?
Well, it's just like I did with the Bob Harper. I repinned the original with the pink border, and then I created a whole new version of it, again, within Pinterest terms and so on. But it's very easy to recreate something or make it a little bit better. there are a lot of pins out there that get a lot of reprints and they're ugly. And simply by making them a little bit more simple and easy to read, you can share in that same viral nature.
Yeah, and the other, and that's again a big clue for each of one of you watching now, is if you see an ugly graphic that's gone viral on Pinterest, think to yourself, how can I improve this? Okay, so yeah, there's a money shot right there for you. Then of course we're going to talk much more about creating book sales from bookographics, like the Bob Harper book and the Bob Harper graphic that John created. And we're going to talk about the perfect couple. That is how making Amazon your best friend in your Pinterest marketing campaigns. So we have a whole section talking about that as well. Then this is another really cool thing, and I want you to chat about this because we cover this extensively within the training. But it's the whole idea of group boards. And, well, first off, John, can you tell folks what group boards are and why they're so important?
Well, group boards are where you invite other people to join and post on the same board. And in this case, I invited a number of internet marketers to join my group board on blogging and internet marketing. And you see, I get Joel Comm, Mike Koenigs, Jason Fladian, Craig Newmark, founder of Craigslist, and they all post to that group blog. But the really neat thing about a group blog is that when I post to it, and since I post more often than anybody else because I founded the board, it actually shows up in all these people's Pinterest flow, their timeline, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
And so I maximize my exposure because it's not just going out to my audience, it's going out to all of their audiences. And again, they can pin to the board, and they have, and then it goes to everybody else also. So there's a great power in joining a board if you don't want to create one, but you can do it both ways, and it's really neat. Now, the one neat thing about it is when you create a group board, you first have to follow everybody. If you don't follow them, you can't invite them.
Okay, and just, again, case in point and more social proof. So this is actually, I took that off of Joel Comm's board earlier today, and Joel has this particular group board pinned in the #1 position there. And,
wow.
And look, look at the pins that are showing up. These are the pins that we created for this very webinar, okay? Which are showing up on Joel's board right across here. And if John, because he is the founder, wanted to change this cover,
change the board. Yes, and I should.
Yeah, you should actually. We could have
I'll do that tonight.
Yeah, we could have actually put this up, and that would be on Joel Comm's board. It would have been on Craig Newmark's from Craigslist. Okay, it would have been on Mike Koenig's, Jason Fladlin, and all the other folks that are on this particular board. Our pin. Okay, that's remarkable. Okay, that's the again the viral power of what can be done with Pinterest when you know what you're doing. Okay, all right. So I want to make sure everyone saw that.
And we talk more about that, how to do it, and how all that. So you don't have to worry about that. It's all in the course. How to do it, why to do it, and how to go about making it happen.
And then, of course, we're going to show you in far greater detail how to create infographics in MS Word, if that's something that I mean, of course, we used MS Word because, #1, this is the program that John uses to create his graphics, and #2, most people know how to use it, so and have it. And if you don't have it, then you could always use OpenOffice as well. So the same for basically the same buttons and all that. Okay. All right. So you get that now, and then here's the other one. This kind of goes back to the questions I was getting about copyright. That because yes, you can absolutely get in hot water on Pinterest if you are infringing on other people's copyrights. And it's pretty easy to do, in fact. But that's one of the reasons why I spent a goodly amount of time coming up with this module on essentially safe pinning so that you could stay out of legal hot water. Okay, so you have that as part of this training. I'll tell you that if you're interested in Pinterest, this one module alone is worth the price of admission. Okay, so here is the environment. I just kind of want to show you one of the modules so that you know what you're looking at. So this is within the training itself, and essentially each module has a video. So there's a video tutorial. We also have in almost all the videos we have download video notes. So that means that if for whatever reason you don't want to sit through a video, you've got the notes for it as well. Or what I personally recommend is that you pull up the notes and watch the video as you read the notes as well. But that's also in here. And then there's also other supplemental materials sprinkled throughout the training, so you'll see that under here as well. And when it's time to go on to the next video, you can just click that next video button right there. So in other words, we've tried to make this clean and easy to navigate so that you could get the juice, get the essence, get the goodness out of this training very, very quickly. Okay, and of course I have bonuses for you as well. And the first bonus I wanted to tell you about is several years ago, John and I did a program called Real Fast Book Marketing. Okay, and the premise behind that training was how to go about selling 100 books in the next 2 weeks using free or low-cost strategies. So this is a training that John and I, it's a full-blown training. It's a $97 value. In fact, that's what we still sell it for today, and this thing sells all the time at $97. But we are going to throw that in for you as well. Then we have a members-only private Facebook group, okay, where only members can get in and interact with one another, show, get pins, post up your pins, etc. Have other people maybe repin your pins, and it gets feedback from not just other folks, but John and I are in this private Facebook group as well. Then we also have this bonus. This is called Facebook Marketing for Authors to get more fans and book sales. This is another John course, okay, that you're also going to get, as well as John's Twitter manual called Twitter Mania Manual, the secret of building an incredibly fanatical following on Twitter. And we have an additional bonus for you, how to use LinkedIn to promote yourself as an author or expert, find promotional partners, and build long-lasting and useful relationships. You're going to get that as a part of Real Fast Pinterest as well. Essentially what this is, if you wrap it all up, is a social marketing suite for authors, publishers, and experts. That's who we're focused on, and that's the market that we try to serve. Okay, you're probably asking yourself, well, Daniel, what's the investment? Well, the regular price for this is $197. However, we're doing a webinar-only investment of only $127. Okay, and that is available through realfastpinterest.com/live, L-I-V-E. And Anthony, if you could put that in there into the chat area. And is it in there, Anthony? Okay, cool. So can you all go ahead and click on that where it says realfastpinterest.com/live and make sure that it works? Is it working? Let me know that it's working over there on your end. Okay.
It works.
Okay, cool. Great. All right, excellent.
Daniel, can I offer one more bonus?
Yes.
We just talked about the power of group boards.
Yes.
I will create a group board only for members of Real Fast Pinterest called Typographics. And when you create a good graphic, you'll have posting privileges, and you'll immediately be able to share your typographics with 18,569 of my followers.
Wow. Dang,
and
John, we should have thought of that a little sooner. That's quite a bonus.
I know, it's so incredible. It's such a great offer. I mean, that alone is worth the price because you'll get incredible exposure. And if you're part of the group board, every member of the group will be contributing essentially their followers to that same audience. And anybody who posts a typographic to that typographic board will then be able to get exposure to probably 50 to 100,000 people immediately.
Wow, cool, lovely, love it. Okay, so let me go on to all right, so of course we have a guarantee. And what I want you to do is don't decide right now. I want you to take advantage of our unconditional triple guarantee. And you're saying, well, Daniel, triple guarantee, what are you talking about? Well, I just want you to try Real Fast Pinterest for 30 days. And if you're not getting the massive traffic you want, or you don't like our radical enthusiasm, or you're unhappy for any reason, no worries. We'll refund every penny you invested today, no questions and no hassles and no hard feelings. The place where you go to grab this is at realfastpinterest.com/live. Okay, realfastpinterest.com/live. That's where you grab it. Okay, so that is our guarantee, 30-day money-back guarantee. And I want to actually put this in perspective for you, because as I said, the investment in Real Fast Pinterest is $127, and just this last weekend, I took my family of four, Anthony, and one of my sons and my wife. We went to one of our favorite restaurants, and for that pretty simple lunch, it was $132. And this is actually a copy just directly out of my Amex bill. And what I want to put across to you, what I'm trying to communicate to you, is it's easy to give up one lunch to learn a skill that effectively can feed you the rest of your life. And that's essentially the deal that we're making for you right here. So where you go to grab this is at realfastpinterest.com/live. Okay, that's where you go. Now, of course, we still have more bonuses for you. We still have more bonuses for you because we have 2 additional live webinar trainings. And what this is going to do essentially is, number one, we're going to do a additional training on designing more cool infographics with free online tools. And both John and I will be teaching that. By the way, we don't have this. We don't have the time or date set up for this, and you will know in due course when that's going to be made, when we're going to schedule that. But it will be probably in the next 2 weeks, I would imagine. Then also, we're going to do an additional live webinar training called "Get Your First 100 Followers on Pinterest in 14 Days." Okay, so these are 2. This is in addition to everything we've already mentioned, okay? You're going to get these 2 additional trainings, but you need to go and grab them at realfastpinterest.com/live right now, okay? That's where you go. Now, I also want to let you know that we're going to continue to deliver for you. John has been in business for over 20 years. And I've been in business for 9 years now, and our success is directly related to yours, okay? That's why we have had such staying power and why you will not be alone in your journey to a more profitable business, okay? I just want to let you know that we're not flash in the pan kind of characters, okay? We're in this for the long haul, and the reason why we have been around so long and have been as successful as we have been is because we are laser focused on your success, not our success, your success. And we know that as long as we continue to do that, we will continue to be successful. So I just want to assure you of that. And then I also wanted to alert you to really, who you're kind of dealing with John, because John has had numerous accomplishments, okay, in the book marketing field. For example, he essentially, in his strategies, actually took Deepak Chopra from what he was when he started, which is essentially a vanity press author, to being a New York Times bestseller 8 times over. Now it's more than that, okay? So, and one other thing I wanted to share with you is this, this sentiment from my friend Joel Comm, who says Kramer is the go-to guy for marketing books. He says John Kramer's book on marketing books is the Bible of the industry. Not only are Kramer's tips and resources excellent for promoting books, but you could use many of the techniques and strategies for promoting a variety of other goods and services. Highly recommended. And again, that's Joel Comm, who is the New York Times bestselling author of The AdSense Code and a bunch of other books as well. So the time to ask your questions is right now, and the time to act, to get in on this very, very special offer is likewise right now. The place to grab it is at realfastpinterest.com/live, okay? And we're gonna answer questions now.
Daniel, could I just say one more thing, that
Yeah.
you really don't need a lot of followers on Pinterest to have an impact. I created a profile for my wife, and she posted one thing, and she had like 3 followers at the time. And within one day, she had over 1,000 reprints of that one graphic.
You know, I was telling you this a little earlier today, John, and I want to share it with the rest of the audience. But, you know, in preparing today's slides and today's presentation, I pulled down the Bob Harper graphic from Infographic a Day, your website, and I repinned it because I was having problems trying to figure out how to download it. And I repinned it to my board, and I kid you not, John, within the first 10 minutes of me repinning that Bob Harper graphic, 2 people, and I think I have like 247 followers, but 2 people took my pin and took that pin, excuse me, and repinned it just in about 10 minutes. I'm scratching my head. I'm like, wow, this really does work. This is really, really cool stuff.
I think that's wonderful.
All right. So
I'm going to have to invite you to my group board.
yes, you should do that. Okay. And let's see. And we're getting hit with a lot of orders. So if we're Tano's saying the site is down. I'm not sure. I think Anthony is off working on that. Okay.
Well, Daniel, I just wanted you to know you had 1 repin and 1 heart for my infographic, but 170 other people have pinned it from yours.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, I just checked it on your profile.
Holy cow! That's awesome. Yeah, and then Matano wants to know what the deal is again. So let me run through, and I knew I was forgetting a slide, Matano. Thank you for reminding me. He said, can you go through the offer stack? In other words, what all do you get is what really Matano was asking. And what you get, of course, is the Real Fast Pinterest training. All right. You're going to get the. Let me go back up through there. So. And here are all the bonuses again. Okay, so here, actually, you know what? Here's actually a better way of doing it. Let me just go from the site itself. So I'm here. I'm logged in the site. Hopefully, we haven't crashed our site. People are telling me that we crashed our site, but I'll try to navigate in it. So here is the the members area. This is when you first land. This is the welcome video, and I want you to watch this welcome video first. But let's go on down here to where it says big bonuses here, and hopefully this will work for us. So here, this is the bonus page, and this is what you're going to get. You're going to want to join the Real Fast Pinterest Facebook only group. Okay, right there, and you're just going to click that and ask to join. And then on this one, hold on, sort of click past that. here is where you can get the Real Fast book marketing bonus. You're just going to click right under here. Okay, so you get that. And again, we sell this even today. It's on the open market for $97. And then you're going to get the you have a Pinterest, how to use Pinterest to promote your book product to supercharge your website and build more traffic. You're going to get that. By the way, this is also in the training. I put it in 2 different places. But you're also going to get the Facebook marketing for authors right there. And you're just going to click to download that, and you're going to download your PDF guide to how to use LinkedIn to promote yourself as an author or expert, find promotional partners, and build long-lasting, useful relationships. And then finally, the Twitter Mania Manual, the secret to building an incredibly fanatical following on Twitter. So, and then here's the whole training right under here as well. So you can get around pretty easily. So I hope that's responsive to your question there, Matano. Yeah, I'm pretty, the story behind Real Fast Pinterest is John and I actually started it about maybe a year and a half ago, would you say, John? And
yes.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is that I kept saying, John, we don't have the proof. I want to know that this works. I don't want to bring it to my people until that I am comfortable actually working, right? And John and I got together recently. We were speaking at an event together in Denver, and he was showing me, basically his proof. Because if you know anything about me, you know that I'm pretty ADD, and I'm subject to losing focus. And well, John brought me back on focus, and he was like, "Hey, you really need to look at this, Daniel." And I did, and I said, "Oh my gosh, yes, I am definitely convinced that you all would definitely benefit from what we've done here." So we went ahead and we finished up Real Fast Pinterest and got it out to you just because it's not only the fact that that John has some excellent proof with the Bob Harper pin. The fact of the matter is that yes, while that is astounding, it is, he's got similar numbers to a number of different graphics, right? So it's not an isolated, kind of thing. It's something that he's been able to recreate using the system that we teach within Real Fast Pinterest over and over and over again. Yes, it is definitely the best, the best example, which is the reason why we led with it. But heck, I was amazed at some of the other stuff. Well, John showed you tonight, some of the other pins that he's got. And, I love you, John, but your stuff really isn't that pretty. And and that's the other thing that astounded me, because I'm thinking to myself, what I know that so many people in my community, you all, are really good with graphics. What if they use these techniques and have really beautiful type of infographics? And I'm like, yes, I definitely want to bring this in. I definitely want to show this to you all. So that's what we did. Okay? So apparently our server went down and is now back up. Anthony's telling me, yes. Yep. Okay, cool. Great. So we had such a run on orders, apparently we crashed our servers, but we are back up. So if you tried to order realfastpinterest.com/live, okay, go back and try again, because we are back up and we could now do this no problem. Okay. Okay. So other questions. Let's see. We have other questions here. We've got other questions. Let me go. I think Anthony has been not pinning. I got pinning on the brain. He's been flagging. That's really what I meant to say. Bob asked the question, can we use this to sell things other than books? I am an MLMer that sells beauty and health products. My target audience is 80% women. So do you have a response for Bob, John?
Well, absolutely. Instead of creating a bookographic, you create a typographic. And a typographic is just, 5 or 10 tips on how to use that beauty product or the vitamins or herbs or anything like that, a picture of the product, and make it pretty looking and then share it. Mm-hmm. The phenomenon should be very much similar. People love sharing tips. They love sharing information that's useful. And if it's tied to a particular product, they don't care.
And that's the other thing that I want all of you to understand with what we're doing here. Essentially, what this is they're graphical representations of articles. They're mini articles. That's what this is all about, okay? So if you could write a quick article, a bullet-pointed article about whatever it is you want to sell, okay, you can make an infographic out of it, a simple and as John has proven, it doesn't have to be all that pretty to get results, right?
You don't have to keep repeating that.
I know. Yes, I do, John. I have to. Okay.
So it's real easy to translate it to any other product, any other service, simply by creating the typographic. And that's why I decided to call the board not bookographics, but typographics.
Oh, and that, Matano was asking earlier about the offers or the bonuses and all that. Tell folks about, because I forgot about the one that you just offered on the fly. It was probably the one with the most value. Tell folks about what you offered them.
Well, I've already created the group board for it, and it's already there waiting for you guys to start to join. And the thing that's really neat about the group board is that I'm showcasing it at the top of all my boards so that when people come to my profile, that will be one of the first ones that they can join. But they won't be able to unless they're a member of this group because I will be inviting you to be part of the group board, which means also that I have to follow you. So you'll automatically get one really good follower, that's me, and I do share. So if you create stuff even on your own boards, I will be sharing it. So you get a double win there.
Cool.
But the fact that you'll be on a group board that includes all my 18,500 followers as well as the followers of everybody else who buys this program and becomes part of the group board, I wouldn't be surprised if ultimately we end up spreading out to 100 or 200,000 people or more with every pin, and that could be incredibly powerful.
And that's awesome. That's a really great bonus. And the place where you want to go grab this is at realfastpinterest.com/live. If you are here live, you can grab that link directly out of the chat area. And our next question comes from Charles. He says, I use Word, but I also use Publisher to create graphics. Will your training for creating graphics in Word be applicable to Publisher?
I would guess it'd be very similar. It's just a matter of typing in words and cutting and pasting. It's not that complicated. And we go through it step by step in the Word process. And my guess is I've used the same thing in using Microsoft Front Page or any internet, like Dreamweaver or something like that. I've created things in those as well. It's very simple. It's just adding words and graphics together in a long, thin format. So it's not that complicated to do it in any other program because I've done it again in multiple word processing programs and multiple internet, like front page programs.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
And we'll be showing you also how to do it in a couple of the online graphic programs. We found a couple that we really like working with. Dan has one is his favorite, and I have one that's my favorite, and we'll show you how to create interesting graphics within their context.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that actually. And then Linda asks, can someone take my pins and use them without attribution or links to me? Yes, they can. Although etiquette, if you post it to Pinterest, that's what you're saying. That number one, you have the copyright to whatever you're posting, and that number two, you're giving all the other users on Pinterest the right to use that pin in the ways that they spell out, and they're pretty broad. As I said, you can take it, you can modify it, you can create a derivative product from it, you can create you could distribute it, for example, on your website, you could publish it. All that stuff is part of the user agreement. But here's the thing, and John, correct me if I go wrong here, but the way it works in practice is most people just click, repin, and everything that was on the underlying part of it is now on their board. In other
right,
words,
including the link back to your website.
Exactly.
And 90% of the people, probably 95% of the people don't change anything. Occasionally I do because I don't like the website it's linking to. I think it's a scam site or something like that, but I like the content, so I change where it links to. And that's simple. And again, we show you how to do that. So if you don't feel comfortable linking to somebody but you like their graphic, you can change it. But 95% of the people don't. I mean, my Bob Harper one, my guess is that link to my website was on probably 90 to 95% of the repins because of the traffic that's coming to my website.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's massive, massive traffic. And that's really, again, what we're talking about is actually taking and generating, materializing traffic really out of thin air. That's really what you could do with Pinterest, and that's one of the reasons why it's so awesome, in my opinion. All right, and then Steve says, is there a limit on how often or how much you could pin or repin?
I haven't hit the limit, and I'm probably one of the more active users. If there is a limit, I haven't heard of a limit. I haven't hit it, so my guess is that there isn't a limit. Obviously, if you were pinning something new every 1 second, Pinterest might say, okay, here's a spammer, and limit your account.
Yeah, yeah. All right, and then Marie.
But the normal user, repinning something every 10 minutes or something like that, it's not going to run into that.
Okay. And Marie asked, can you make the graphic of a book clickable so that someone can buy the book from your Amazon store? That's the idea, Marie. Absolutely. That's exactly what you want. And that's exactly why we're doing so much of what we're doing here. Yes, you've got it.
Every image is clickable to a website or to a sales page, Amazon sales page. And you determine where that click goes to.
Exactly. And then Janet asked, the Forbes article, how did you link back to them? Was it from your blog? Answer, yes. That's exactly how it was.
Because the image itself links back to my blog, but on my blog, I link back to both of the articles that I drew the content from.
Mm-hmm.
And I also list them at the bottom of the infographic, so if somebody wanted to, just type it in, they could go directly from the infographic itself.
Yeah. We're telling you to give proper attribution. Absolutely. That's the beauty, is you don't have to be a cheater. You don't have to be a scammer. Okay? Well, with Pinterest. That's really the very, very cool part about it. Okay? If most of you know me, and know I wouldn't be involved with anything like that anyway, but I could assure you that in fact, that's one of the reasons why I made a whole module about that very topic, is just staying safe, best practices for staying safe, okay? But by the way, the place where you want to grab this very special deal is here at realfastpinterest.com/live, okay? And Judith asked a great question. She says, can you please repeat the measurements for the skinny Pinterest image in pixels? Do you have those for us? John?
There isn't any specific width and height that you can use. You can use any width and height you want. You want to go at least 240 wide, otherwise it's too thin for the Pinterest board. But other than that, you can have any width because Pinterest automatically fits to that width.
So let me answer Judith here. What I do, and that is I usually will do either 300 or 350 by 800. But again, you can make here's the really cool thing is that with those long skinny ones, Judith, is you want to take up as much real estate on a board as possible. Okay, and whereas the limits of the board are set width-wise, there's much greater parameters length-wise. In other words, you can put a much longer one and have the whole entire graphic show up if it's a long, skinny one versus a fat, short one. If that makes
Daniel,
sense.
that has changed a little bit. Pinterest now does cut it off at the bottom a little bit and then says has a clickable thing to expand the image. So the actual height now is probably 300 by 1200 maximum before it gets cut off a little bit, but people can click and then see the rest of the image.
Okay, cool.
People were making images that were so long that it actually destroyed the look and feel of Pinterest. So your 350 by 800 is a nice size.
Okay. And Cassandra, and I'm sorry, I'm going on to the next question here. Cassandra says, does this show how to use Microsoft to create graphics before I buy? Well, actually, we showed you how to do that. Yes, earlier we sure did show you that. Mm-hmm. And so if you want to see that, it's probably it'll be in the replay or the rebroadcast.
We go through it step by step in the program itself, but it's doing it step by step, it would have been too long in this program. So we gave you a very short micro look at what you do. It's not that hard. Yeah,
it's really easy actually. And then Anthony wants to know: is Pinterest useful for promoting fiction novels? John, I know you have an opinion on this.
Yes, absolutely. I've seen quite a few novelists promoting things on it. Now, again, the infographic or typographic that you would create would have to be a little bit different. And one of the ways that you could do that is you could just share 5 writing tips and then have the image of your book attached to that graphic and then have it linked to your Amazon sales page or to your website sales page.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that complicated to do. And there's certainly a lot of writing tips out there that you could reshare, blog to your blog and then reshare. And in fact, I will give you a set of 40 to begin with. Okay. We'll add that to the bonus too.
Wow.
40 writing tips that novelists can use to share on Pinterest and then have it linked back to their website and so on.
What else could we pump you for, John?
I don't know. You've already pumped me for so much.
I love it.
But it's nice. I enjoy doing this, like the typographics board, which, I mean, that alone is going to be so valuable to most of you, and I've already created it. So if you went to pinterest.com/John Kramer, you would see my board.
Okay.
And it's at the top. It's at the top of the page, and it's ready for you to start joining the board. And Daniel will get me all the. I'll have to figure out how to invite everybody, but we'll set up a procedure for that.
Well,
so that I can
how
invite
about this,
you to join.
John? How about if people just ask for the invite on the Facebook group?
That'll be fine. That'll be great.
Yeah, that way, then you could be in. So if you want to access, want the invite to John's board. Once you get into the members area, first thing you do is join that Facebook group, and then write a note to John and say, "Hey, John, groovy presentation, number 1, and number 2, can you invite me to your board, please?" Okay.
And then, Daniel, you also have a group board.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And I presume you'll be inviting more people to that as well, the Real Fast Pinterest group board.
Yes. All right, and let's see. By the way, the place where you go to grab this very special deal is at realfastpinterest.com/live. Okay, realfastpinterest.com/live. Okay, and let's see. Let's see. Trying to. There's so many questions here. I'm trying to. Okay. Wendy wants to know, can you give us the link to the FB group? Yes, it's in the members area. Okay. Let's see if I could show you where that is, Wendy. It's actually at the top of this page right here. So you could actually just click on this graphic, and it will take you directly to the Facebook group. And all you're going to do here is you're going to ask to join the group. Okay, that's how it's going to work. And then you could say hey to John. He's a member of the group, and away we will go. Okay, so that's the way that will work. Okay, let's see other questions here. Melanie wants to know, can you also provide some tips for e-magazine publishers? Yes, I can give you, because I too am an e-magazine publisher. I've got 2 magazines on the Apple newsstand myself, Melanie. And what you're going to do is it's essentially going to be very similar to what you would do if you had a book. In other words, you're going to take tips out of articles that you've published, and you're going to reduce those to a infographic and post those infographics on Pinterest with links back to where people could download your magazine, or where they could subscribe, or if you want to send them to iTunes or the Apple newsstand, you could send them to your listing there as well. That's the beauty of this. You could send the traffic wherever you want to send them, depending on the campaign you have going on. I mean, this is awesomeness, really. Okay. And Deborah says, can I join the board in a month or so? The answer is yes. I'm redoing my website and then have to start a Pinterest account. I don't have one yet. Yes, you could definitely do that, Deborah. Well, you can have a Pinterest account by the end of tonight. I mean, it's not that difficult to get an account. I know the website might be a little bit more challenging. I realize that. All right. And
one of the things that people said is, in that first graphic that I showed where the guy said help, he says he's not a graphic person. Well, I was never a graphic person. All my blog posts were mainly words. And only when I joined Pinterest did I start to think graphically. And, some of my graphics, as Dan says, are pretty ugly, but some of them are very pretty. And I've learned to become a graphic designer in a sense, to make them good enough that people share them. And now every blog post I write has at least one graphic, because you can't pin a blog post without a graphic.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. You need the graphic. Let's see. Regina says, if we have an old inactive Pinterest account, can we use it? I believe so, as long as it's not closed. Yeah.
And again, in the training, you may decide that you want to redesign it, delete some of the boards, create new boards and so on, because there's certain strategies I teach you of the boards that you should create and within the training, so that you really draw a bigger audience. Because, I sort of stumbled into the fitness category when I shared that Bob Harper graphic, and I realized I needed to create a separate board for people that love fitness. And that has become my star. And I fell into it.
Exactly. Exactly. And let's see. Bob wants to know, I just invested. Where do I get the bonuses? Well, as soon as you have registered into the account, this is the page. This is the welcome page. Okay, Bob? Yeah, hope you're watching right now. And you're gonna actually scroll down to where it says big bonuses here, right down here. See, this is at the top of the page. Just scroll down to the bottom and then just click on 07, big bonuses here, and that's where here's all the bonuses, okay, right through here. All right, so that's how that is done, okay? And the place where you grab this deal is at realfastpinterest.com/live, okay? realfastpinterest.com/live. That's where you grab it, okay?
You guys are going to love being on Pinterest once you know how to use it. It's so much fun to start seeing all the traffic coming and playing around and testing different graphics and seeing which ones work and which ones don't. And you get immediate feedback from Pinterest. You know, people pin or they don't pin. And then now that Pinterest is actually telling you how many people repin it from outside of direct pinning from you, it really starts to motivate you, because 10 or 15 pins doesn't sound very interesting, but when it spreads to 220 people within 10 hours, I mean, that's significant, and it really is starting to drive traffic in a really interesting way, and it makes you want to do more pinning.
Mm-hmm. And then Heidi says, I don't see where he clicked for the FB group. Okay, so it's on, again, the bonus page here, Heidi. And then you just click this whole image. See where it says click here, ask to join? So just click this whole image or right under here, and it'll take you, because it's a number. Otherwise, I'd give you the direct link, but it's just a long, ugly number. Okay? So get to this page, Heidi, and then click here. All right. Okay. And by the way, I want to take a second to thank all of the folks who have jumped on board, and there have been many of you, and I want to congratulate you for that. I really do feel like this is one of the better strategies, the more workable strategies for getting traffic to your books or other offers. Okay, and that's what you need. People keep asking, well, how do I make money from this? Well, people have money. Okay, it's the people that have the money. And you've got to have people, in other words, you got to have eyeballs on your offers, or the whole thing fails. I mean, that's how money is made. A sale, somebody buys something, and that's really what this is all about. It's about calling together people that are targeted. You know they're targeted because they're clicking on things related to your book or related to your offer in the first place, and then they click on to wherever it goes. Now, not all of them do that, obviously, okay, but there's such a huge number of people in this community that are clicking through to other things that you're just like, wow, this is really awesome. So that, yes, that's how money is made here with Pinterest. It's eyeballs, and the more eyeballs, the more money. Okay. Okay, let's see. Brad says, can you give tips or suggestions for pins to do for children's fiction books?
Yeah, there's, again, you can pin all the graphics from a children's picture book one at a time over a period of time. Again, you'd have to have a page devoted to it on your blog, or you can also simply upload an image and then provide a link to it. But it's a two-step process when you do that. And then you can link it to your Amazon page or anywhere else you want to. But also, I would just share any children's stories you like. One of the key things here is that if you write, let's say, genre fiction, and you write romances, well, sharing other romance authors is a perfect way to build your audience and to have people rely on you as a good recommender, a good sharer. So you're not always just sharing your own content, you're repinning other people's content. So follow other romance novelists and then share their content, just as I share Brian Tracy's content and Zig Ziglar's content and other people like that, repinning them. it really makes a difference, and then they become your partner and they share your images, and it becomes, you each grow from it. And one of the things that I really want to encourage is that the people who join this program repin each other, because that's one of the fastest ways to start to spread it out. And you'd be surprised how many people would be interested in your subject, no matter what other subjects you might have. That's why you create different kinds of boards for the different kinds of interests you have in life. Mm-hmm. I have a board of optical illusions because I love optical illusions. A certain number of people follow me because of that. Mm-hmm. And so you never know how people are going to discover you, and then they realize, oh, wow, he's a book marketing expert. I need to follow all his boards. Mm-hmm. Things like that.
Exactly. And Joy asked a question that's actually near and dear to my own heart. And her question is, how will this help you grow your email list for information marketers? Well, do you mind if I talk about this, John? So,
no, fine.
Yeah. So this is just as like any other traffic discussion, Joy. The Pinterest piece of it is the traffic. And what you do with that traffic, that determines whether people land on your site and look it over and then leave, whether they land on your site and go buy maybe your book, or whether they land on your site, see that you've got a opt-in offer, okay, and they join your list. It's the same as any other traffic, okay? So in other words, if you are doing a bunch of pins that relate to some special free promo that you have, so a free bonus or a squeeze page where people get some special report or something like that, but in order to get that additional special report, they have to opt in. Well, that's growing your email list, right? So yes.
And that's one way, but also if you're simply driving them back to your blog and you have front and center or to the side a sign-up page, you'll get a lot of sign-ups that way. Mm-hmm. So it's a multiple way to create interest and to create, again, getting people to sign up, because obviously that's the gold key for most internet marketers for sure, and even for book authors is, the value is in the list.
Oh, absolutely. If you're, and I'll say this, and I've not ever been shy about saying this, that if you are an author, a publisher, a Kindle author, Kindle publisher, what have you, and you're serious about your business, you're not just playing with it, the very first thing you do is you start an email list. You start growing an email list. It is so important. It's vital, in fact, okay? Joy, I think you already know that, but for those of you that don't know that, if you don't have an email list and you're really wanting to be serious about your business, you must, like tomorrow, get an email going. Get an email list going with some free offer, okay? All right. Let's see. John says,
well, a key thing just for everybody is join that Facebook page, because that's where you can ask more questions after this seminar, and you can really, so if you have questions or you run into a problem or you get confused, just ask it there, and Daniel and I will both be on that Facebook page and we'll be answering questions for people that join the group.
Yep. And then Deborah asked, I bought Real Fast Books. Is there overlap with Real Fast Book Marketing in the course? Nope. No. None at all. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Thanks, guys.
The only overlap is that we're giving Real Fast Book as a no, that's Real Fast Book Marketing that we're giving, not Real Fast Book.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say, no. we're not. We're doing. Yeah. So Marjorie. Marjorie says, thanks, guys. I have several trainings about how to use Pinterest, and this is the easiest and most informative. Looking forward to getting this going more effectively. Thank you so much for saying that, Marjorie. I really appreciate that. Brooke says, okay, we have asked to join the FB group. Excellent. Let's see. Val says, I struggled to get 1,500 followers before this. Can't wait to see these tactics and strategies. Thank you, Val. Appreciate you saying that. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Sharon. She says, you know that real fast customers are loyal to you, Daniel. Well, I appreciate that. And I don't take that for granted. That's one of the reasons why I work so hard, and I didn't just like run off with real fast Pinterest and until I was satisfied myself that it was really, really good stuff. And it is. And it really, truly is. Okay. Let's see. And Charles says, this has to be the value-priced offer I've ever seen. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Charles. I really appreciate you saying that. Okay, good.
We tried to make it really good value, and obviously I've been throwing in some bonuses, so it's even more of a value.
It's an insane value. Yeah, I agree with that.
But only one of us is insane.
Yes, John, and I'll let everyone decide who that person is. All right, so let's see. Back over here to Anthony's telling me that folks are wanting the direct link to the Facebook group. It's in the bonus area. Okay, so I'll show you one more time here. Let's go back over here, and when you first log in to Real Fast Pinterest, this is what you're going to see, Real Fast Pinterest, and this is where you're going to land. Then you're just going to scroll down to where it says Big Bonuses, and it's actually at the very top of this page. So you can click this graphic, the whole graphic, or click here and ask to join, and that will take you directly there. So that's how you get to the Facebook group, okay?
And again, the only reason we're not giving you the link thing is it's a long number.
Well, and it's only for members as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Not everyone. We're not inviting everyone, and only those folks that it's a members only privilege is what it is, right? It's a benefit just for those. Yeah.
And it's going to be a real benefit because we will answer questions.
Yeah. Liz says, I second that comment about loyalty. Thank you so much, Liz. I really appreciate that. Let's see.
It's one of the reasons that I partner with Daniel on this. It's because I know that he creates loyal, loving customers, and those are the kind of people I like.
Yeah, and really, believe me when I say that I don't take you for granted. I don't take you, John, for granted, or I don't take anyone listening to this now or on a replay. I don't take you for granted, and I want to see success for you. I'm very serious about that. Let's see. John says, thank you, Daniel. I appreciate and trust your recommendations. I am reading your stuff right now to release 2 finished books. Oh, well, congratulations, John. Excellent. This Pinterest class looks awesome. Yes, it should be. And let's see. Charles says, hey, John, you may recall that I suggested at Ken MacArthur's Scottsdale event that you develop and market a program like this.
Yes.
And bada bing, here it is, finally birthed.
Daniel and I have been working on it, and creating the content over the last year or so, and we're updating it now because there are new things that are happening, and one of the key things that I like about Pinterest now is that it's actually giving me those behind-the-scene numbers that it wasn't giving before.
And then Wayne says, I have asked several questions. Are you seeing this? Yes, Wayne, I'm seeing that one. I'm not sure that I've seen any others from you, and I'm sure that you did put them in. Let's see. And Gary says, I own 6 RealFast products. Thank you so much, Gary. I really appreciate you you being such a loyal customer. Again, it really it warms the cockles of my heart, and Lord knows I like my cockles warm. Yeah, Anthony's doing a head slapper. Let's see, Wayne. Here's one from Wayne. We've answered several of them here, Wayne, or Anthony has it behind the scenes about the PHP versions. Yeah. Okay. So everything works. Don't worry about the PHP warnings with regard to that, Wayne. Everything works just fine. All right. Let's see here. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Lisa. She says, success is like health. Everyone can have it. It's unlimited. Exactly. And Jim says, what about linkage to A&E Rocket Hub crowdfunding? Any advice? Ooh, that's a good question. You have any thoughts for Jim? He says, what about linkage to A&E Rocket Hub crowdfunding?
You can point it, again, as we've said, to any website. So, and I've seen people use it as a support platform for their crowdfunding efforts. I've seen that multiple times. So, again, you can link to anything, and it could be a lot of fun using it in a crowdfunding mechanism. Again, you just have to think graphically in terms of what would interest people on Pinterest, because people on Pinterest tend to think more graphically than the rest of us.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think normal people do think graphically, because that's what we're seeing, in our
yes.
daily lives. It's basically a big long string of images that pass before our eyes.
And the neat thing is with Pinterest,
for us to think in graphic terms. At least for me, anyway.
And the thing is that the one thing that we didn't mention yet is that you can pin videos as well and GIFs. So and they work. You can actually play the video within Pinterest. So if you create videos for promoting your programs or your books or anything else, sharing them on Pinterest is an ideal way to get more traffic to your YouTube channel or anything like that.
Exactly. And by the way, the place where you go to grab this is at realfastpinterest.com/live, and we're coming to the end of our questions here, where we've actually been on the line about a little over 2 hours. So we're going to be closing up shop here. So if you want this very special deal, the place to get it is at realfastpinterest.com/live. If you're seeing this on a rebroadcast or a replay, the link is probably right below where you're now watching. Or if you are here live, the link is in the chat area, or you can simply open up a new browser and just type in realfastpinterest.com/live, okay, and grab this very special training, okay. And also, I want to let folks know that if you have any issues, okay, with anything regarding to technical, billing, you need your password reset, anything along those lines, technical, customer service types of issues, I want to make sure that you know where our customer service site is, okay, and it is, let me go over here, and you're going to go to greatproductsupport.com, those 3 words, greatproductsupport.com, and put in a ticket right over here. And I've got Anthony and Luann on staff who man this during normal business hours. So you put in your ticket here, and we would be more than happy to help you. Okay. I mean, again, I'll tell you, it's greatproductsupport.com. Those 3 words, greatproductsupport.com, and put in a new ticket for any type of technical or billing issues. Now, if you have content-related questions, you're gonna put those in over here on the Real Fast Pinterest board right down here. You're just gonna type them in, and if you want me to answer personally, or if you want John to answer personally, make sure that you tag us in the post. Okay, make sure that you tag us in the post, because we don't want to miss your questions. And I manage a lot of Real Fast sites here, and if I don't get tagged, I actually end up missing somebody's question, and I don't want that. I want to take good care of you, and I want to answer your questions. So please do tag me, and then I'll know that, yes, it may not be an immediate response, but it'll be, at least I'll know. It'll pop up over here, and it'll let me know that, oh yes, you know, somebody wants me specifically to answer. Okay, so and you can do that. Should they do that for you as well, John?
Yes, that way I'm much more likely to see it. I will be visiting the group board on a regular basis, but you know, if you really want to reach it, you know, do the John Kramer and ask the question, which Facebook allows you to do, so that you know, make that connection.
Okay, excellent. And then Jay Black says, I bought the program. Thank you so much for that, Jay. Really appreciate that. And have the bonus page up, and when I clicked on the book marketing link, it doesn't take me to the new page. Well, here's, let me show you this. Just go to this link right below here, and I'll try to hyperlink that. Yes, you're right. This I meant to come back and do that, but I missed it. But it is right here. You can still do it right now before I fix it. It is clickable under this link. It says, first things first, register for the Real Fast Book Marketing Training by clicking here. Okay, so there is a clickable link already in here. I just haven't hyperlinked the graphic yet. Okay, so that's how that works. Okay, all right, and then let's go back here. Paul wants to know, how do you tag? How do you tag on Facebook? Hold on. Jay Black saying that it doesn't come up for him. Okay, well, we'll fix that. If I'll try it myself right now, and if I click right here,
you cannot pin from Facebook, if that's a question somebody had, but there is a workaround it.
Yeah, I'm not sure why this is not redirecting, Jay, but we'll fix this. All right. And by the way, if you were to take this link right here and just put it in a whole nother window, it would work that way as well if you can't wait, Liz. And let's see. And Stephanie wants to know, when will those who signed up receive access link and password? That went out to you, and it should. Well, here's the thing. It will come within 45 minutes to an hour if it hasn't already been there first, or it hasn't been delivered. But first, I would make sure that you look at your spam, your spam folder, to make sure that it's not there first. And if not, within 45 minutes or so. And again, if you have any issues, that's why we're here. We've got, our ticket system is right here, and we're ready to go with that. So we will help you that way. Okay. So one final call to action here. I want to make sure that I've answered everyone's question. Deborah says, I'm in, very excited to get started. It's just the motivation I need to get my sales funnel website shipshape. I love it. Thank you. Oh, I was going to answer Paul's. How do you tag? This is how you tag. So let's just say we're over here at Facebook, Paul, and I want to tag my friend John Kramer. So I would just start typing John's name in here. And you see how this thing comes up? It says John Kramer as I typed his name. Then once I see the person that I want to tag, all I do is just click the button, and it puts this little blue highlighting around it. That's tagging, okay? And you just tag somebody like that, and then write whatever you're going to write here, whatever your question is. And then as soon as you hit the enter or return, it will let us know. It will give us a little message up here. Now, of course, we're not up there 24/7, so don't expect that. But within a day or two, if we're not, you should see some. Well, we're especially now when we're launching a new product, we're going to be in there really, really frequently to make sure that everyone gets up and gets rolling. Okay. Any other questions? Did you have anything you want to add as we close here, John?
No, not really. It just once they really learn how to use it, they're going to have a lot of fun with it. And one other tip is that it's really an incredible way to revitalize an old blog post. Pinning the old blog post, and in my case, having to create a graphic for it first, is an incredible way to reinvigorate a blog post. I've had blog posts that just get incredible amount of traffic that hadn't had any traffic for a year or so, simply by repinning, by pinning them with a new graphic, or even an old graphic.
Excellent.
And the thing is, you can repin the same image multiple times. You don't want to do it multiple times in the same day because you'll be irritating your followers. But once every couple months is fine. Okay. And it's a great way to reinvigorate a blog post, a page that you're doing, anything like that.
Okay, and Sharon asked, I missed how we sign up for the webinars. Well, I didn't say how to sign up for the webinars. That's because we haven't planned any. You'll get an email, and I'll also post it within the Facebook group, Sharon, on when those get scheduled. As I say, we'll probably do those within the next 2 weeks or so. Okay, you're welcome. All right, so this is the final call, last call. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Okay. So we are closing down. Actually, I'm gonna be silent here. So, and Paul says, what about selling T-shirts? Any experience with that? I have not personally had any experience with that, but again, it's the same thing. What you do with the traffic is one thing. We're teaching you how to generate the traffic. Okay, you could send it anywhere, Paul. Okay, so with that, again, the place you go to grab this is at realfastpinterest.com/live. Thank you so much for your time and your attention, and whether you take advantage of this great offer or not, go and use what we taught you. I always try to bring you value, whether or not you take us up on our offers. Now, of course, we have enough people do take us up on our offers that it makes it worth our while. But if you can't afford it, or if it's whatever the problem is, take what we taught you here today, okay, and implement it and start making some money, okay. So then you can come back and get the really, really, really good stuff within Real Fast Pinterest. All right. Okay. Thanks so much, John, and thanks to all of you. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, Daniel.